Hello, welcome back to another episode of cedh Bling Builds. Today we're going to discuss and look over Rielle the Everwise. Now, if you ever find yourself in a stale, boring meta where it's the same few cards over and over and over again, if you ever find yourself watching these videos and you're like, Tuna, it's the same cards over and over and over again, have no fear. Rael is here. We're going to feature her because I believe she received some interesting cards over the last couple of sets that makes her even more ridiculous. And I promise you there are going to be some cards in this deck that you've never seen from my collection before. So it'll be a breath of fresh air. Now, what she wants to do is kind of just loot. The first time she loots, she's going to just get those cards back for you. No problem, no problem. I guess in a 1v1, she could just one-shot kill, right? She could just punch the one opponent in the mouth so hard, she busts their teeth. Boom! Right? That's what's on the floor. It's all the broken teeth. A lot of people build their Rielle a little weird, right? It's the same argument I make all the time with these wizard tribal decks. They'll put like gutter snipe and a young pyromancer and shit like that, and it's like you don't need to do any of that. You really don't. You need to find as many faithless looting type of effects as possible, and just go with that. And then eventually find an Underworld Breach and do some Underworld Breach lines, and then maybe Brain Freeze for the win. The one opponent that you can't Brain Freeze them, then you just single them out and punch them in the face. It's very simple. So yeah, let's get right into the deck. Oh, before we get started though, you're like, Tuna, isn't this just Joyra? Right? Yeah, it is. It is. Shh. Don't let anyone tell you different. It's Joyra. But Joyra's very boring. Very boring. As you can see, she's in my sale binder. Because she's just such a boring deck. She's solitaire. She's solitaire, and Rael's fun. Rael's a lot of fun. But Joyra just kind of sits there and like loops her artifacts, draws the deck, loops the artifacts, draws the decks, and then finds some sort of win. Yuck. So let's get into the deck. So we have Rielle, the Everwise, and we're going to talk about some cool pieces that she has that I can't run the deck without them. Dragon's Rage Channeler. She has Delirium, sure, I guess whatever. But the Surveil thing is really cool when you're starting to just like, when you find an Underworld Breach loop. I don't even look. I don't even surveil the top. I just instant mill, right? And I guess it passively feeds the graveyard instants and sorceries. Oh, right, that's another thing about the wizard tribal. Like, you need to fill your deck, your graveyard with instants and sorceries, bro. If you're casting like so many permanents, like where are your instants and sorceries, right? It's what? You're gonna gutter snipe somebody? What? So you're gonna do 10 damage to them over the course of 8 turns? Okay. Thoracle Console, I win. So, Dragon's Rage Round. Don't sleep on this card. It's really, really good. Very, very good. Containment Construct. Oh my god. Oh my god. Bro, this card is so strong in the deck. I know cards like this have always existed. A bag of these nuts and QAnon Theorist, but like, I think QAnon Theorist is like just one one card when you discard, right? And Bag of Holding is like too clunky of a. Let's look at a Bag of Holding. Okay, so and whenever you discard a card, exile that card from the graveyard. Oh, so you're right. So you have to pay additional, and you just get it back to your hand. It's a cute card in like a Madness deck, but not in this deck. Right? I used to tech it in Anye, but this strong. Don't sleep on this. This card. Don't sleep on this card. It's incredible, incredibly strong. What else? So of course we have the Underworld Breach. Now, you might lose your Underworld Breach in the graveyard. We have 2 ways to get it back. Of course, if you have the Containment Construct on board, you can just pitch it, and it'll sit there, and then you just cast it, and then you just oh my God, so many plays with this construct. And then there's the Brain Freeze. Don't be afraid to like have the Brain Freeze in your hand, and just mill, right? Just to feed your dart early. It passively feeds Rael with instants and sorceries, but like I'll cast a Brain Freeze with like Storm Count 2 or 3, just to fill up my yard, and then eventually later I'll find Underworld Breach combos, and then the Brain Freeze could be a win con. If you have your Storm Count high enough, you just mill out each opponent. There's no Thassa's Oracle in this deck. There could be a Thassa's Oracle in the deck, but I don't think you need it. And then some generic Rielle discard cards, right? We have Faithless Looting, very simple. The blue Faithless Looting, right? Careful Study. Burning Inquiry, very strong. Forensic Search. A Prismari Command, very, very good. Very versatile. You pick 2. Ooh, so nice. There's no Is It Charm. I think it's a little outdated. You could add it if you want. You could add Thriller Possibility in all these cards if you want. They just don't work for me. They're better cards out there, especially because your boy Tuna has like Wheels of Fortune and things like that, and then Time Twisters. But there's plenty of cards. Breakthrough, which X is 0, so for 1, oh my God, really strong in this deck. And now some discard / spot removal cards. We have a Turbulent Dreams, which is in Rael, very strong. Firestorm. You're not gonna win the game with a Firestorm, but you are gonna clear their board, and it's good. You can clear their board, and then if the Brain Freeze doesn't work, right, and you still have the one pesky opponent because they have a Titan in their deck or something weird like that, then you could Firestorm their board, and then hopefully you didn't do too much damage to your yard with your Underworld Breach loops that you can then punch with the Rielle for 21. Recall. Recall is a really good card if you lose your Underworld Breach in the yard. Really, yeah, it's pretty much the only card you need to get back. And it has synergy with Rael. But if you're recalling and you lost your Underworld Breach, you might be in the middle of a line. I don't think Recall will be the first card you cast. Or maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Recall is the first card you cast in that turn, and you get that Rael value. Who knows? We're going to go into our wheels package. The discard wheels. We have a Windfall, Wheel of Misfortune, Wheel of Fortune, and bring a Tolarian Winds. Oh, so good. I'm feeling Tolarian Winds so much that I really want to just squeeze it into other decks. It's an instant speed wheel instant speed windfall for yourself. Pretty neat. Pretty neat. There's Winds of Change. I'm not a fan of Winds of Change, but that's an option too. And then we have this card. No one talks about this card. No one knows. It's like, I don't know. What's wrong with people? Like I said, net deckers are a weird breed, right? And the deck builders that everyone follows are just a weird bunch of people. Maybe the CMC is too high, but who cares about CMC in a deck without black, right? You don't have to worry about ad nos. But oh my god, change of fortune is it gets out of control in this deck. You're really gonna like fill up your hand. If you're in the middle of Underworld Breach loops with wheels, Jesus Christ. So yeah, when you run this deck, keep in mind you have to keep a d20s for your storm count, and you have to keep d20s for your discard count if you're running the wheel of change of fortune. But when you hit a change of fortune with like a high discard count, it's crazy. Change of fortune is really strong. But no wheels package is complete without a Narset, Partner of Veils, Narset Bay of Veils. And then our counters package, we have a deflecting. We'll start things off with our soft counters, of course. We have a deflecting swat, misdirection, our pyroblast, and our red elemental blast. And then our other counters, we have a flusterstorm, dispel, swan song, miscast, mental misstep, fierce guardianship, pact of negation, and force of will. And then moving along to our draw package, which this deck is nothing but draw, right? The discard, draw. So it's mixed up, but this is like specific draw, no discard. We have an OG Brainstorm, Gitaxian Probe, Preordain, and a Ponder, OG Ponder. We have Gush, and we have a Time Twister. Time Twister is the other card. If you lose your change of fortune, your Underworld Breach in the grave, I guess you just hit the reset button and start all over again. You could run a Codex Shredder. Yeah. There are a handful of ways to, very few ways to get back your change of fortune if you lose it. Change of fortune. There's very few ways to get back your Underworld Breach if you lose it. So just keep that in mind. This deck is all about the Underworld Breach. Our spot removal, we have a Braid, Resculpt, Suspend, Submerge, Chain of Vapor, Winds of Rebuke, Snap. I wish I could fit like the Geist Wave and the other one. Alchemist Retrieval, is that what it is? I don't know. The bouncy wouncies. Because there's a Gilded Drake in the deck and a Dockside Extortionist. And it's really nice to just be able to play those again. But not dire. We have a Cyclonic Rift. But in this deck, the Firestorm is really strong. Oof. It's going to burn everybody. Our Tutors package, very tiny. You have a Gamble. Gamble's going to be strong in the Rael deck because you're going to have a hand with like 10 cards in it. Mystical Tutor and a Merchant Scroll. I didn't use a Transmute Tutors. You go through the deck really quickly. You pretty much find what you need all the time. Don't be afraid of having two discard 2 strong discard cards in your hand. Just who gives a shit? Just play the better one. You'll get to the other one another time. It's not a big deal. Our rituals, we have Rite of Flame, Jessica's Will, and then appropriately we'll go into our creature rituals. We have a Simian Spirit Guide, Dockside Extortionist, Ragavan, and then the best of the rest, we have Malevolent Hermit. But you know what, I never feature it, the backside of this silver screen shit. Okay, Malevolent Hermit, which of course will turn into Benevolent Geist, which you turn him around, and you can hopefully do your combo uncontested. And then of course Gilded Drake, because why not? Why not? And then the best of the rest, right? Our enchantments, artifacts, lands. We have a Ristic Study, and a Mystic Remora. Our artifacts, we'll go for our eggs. We have a Lotus Petal, Jeweled Lotus, Lion's Eye Diamond. And then our colored rocks, we have a Is It Signet, Talisman of Creativity, Fel Warstone, Arcane Signet, a Mox Amber, Chromox, Mox Diamond, Mox Opal, and a Mox Diamond. Our colorless rocks, we have a Mana Vault, Soul Ring, and a Mana Crypt. So refreshing to see some new cards, right? Like the Mox Amber and stuff like that. And then our lands package, of course, we have all 8 fetches. Seven, 8. We're running 2 Snow Island, 2 Snow Mountains, and 6 Snow Islands. No particular reason for snow. It's just that me personally, I don't own more than one non-basic, because my philosophy is if you're running that many basics in a deck, then you might as well just make them snow, because there are more things you could do with snow than with regular plain old basics, you know. And then Steam Vents and a Volcanic Island, wrapping up our tutorable lands. Some utility lands. We have a Barbarian Ring. We're going to meet Threshold, and then we could hit a Hate Bear or some shit, whatever. Cephalid Coliseum and Otawara. Even with the CMC being a little bit higher, even with Rielle on board, it's fine. Just to be able to try to get our combo going as soon as possible. Just removing the weird stacks piece and an Ancient Tomb. And then our multicolor lands, we have a Gemstone Cavern, the River Glade Pathway, Fiery Islet, Shivan Reef. I don't care about getting original Pain lands. Yeah, over the course of time, the duels get just power crept a lot. Oh, I made a lot of changes to my mana base for 3 color decks. So before I ran the Horizon lands and Battle Bond lands in 3 color decks, I don't even bother with them anymore. I'd just rather have like the City of Brasses and the Mana Confluence and the Exotic Orchards. Forbidden Orchard is different, depends on the strategy you're going for. If you're just comboing off, you don't care about the spirits. But Spire of Industry, Tarnished Citadel, there's just so many neat lands, and as the game gets older, there's so many good creatures where your pips are kind of all over the place. A training center, and then a command tower. And there you have it. You have Medea, Diary of a Faithless Looting Lady in 2022. She's very fun. Again, the difference between her and the Joyra is Joyra's a boring solitaire deck. Rael needs to, could get in if she wants. Where Joyra just kind of just sits there, you know. Yeah, but like I said, it's refreshing just seeing some new cards. I understand it gets a little boring, a little tired, a little repetitive. Seeing the same same few cards like over and over and over again. So thanks for watching. Maybe I'll feature Joyra next, but we'll see. Take it easy.